Hey there, it's Elisa, the Half Asian Tarot Queen, and here to do another, we have the Ace of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So this is a passionate new beginning, passionate, fiery, inspired. Ooh. And then we have the Queen of Wands too, so that can often signify the other woman. So, could be a changing of the guard moment. Who knows? I'm going to see what flips out. I'm going to pull some cards from this Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot for some overall energies. There's definitely some climactic changes going around. I could say in my own world, I'm in the middle of a big move. As you can see, the environment is shifting behind me. I'm in the process of going through a big move, at least to another state, possibly to another country. It's big. So okay, so on the bottom of the sword, the deck, we have the King of Swords. So this is kind of like laying down the law in like truth and clarity, not messing around. It's a no-nonsense king. He's not really operating from the realm of emotions. He operates from the realm of logic. So it's just sort of like, no more nonsense, no more messing around. This is how it is, and things are going to change. Things are changing. So for the overall energies of the reading, I have the Ten of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, and the Queen of Cups. So this is interesting. It's like a balance, because we had this no-nonsense king. It's laying down the law, and telling it how it is. But then we also have this nurturing, loving queen that's operating from the realm of emotion. And there's a message coming through. And this is the foundation for a dynasty. So there's a whole thread on the channel called Dynasty, and it's all about, a foundation that's coming through for literally like a family dynasty, which is kind of what this card is. Like, you've got your pentacles, you've got your family, you've got a solid foundation, and then there's this message coming through. To this loving, nurturing queen. So let's pull some more cards from the Bianco Nero deck and see if we can get some more insight into what's going on, because, and we have the Lovers on the bottom of the deck. So there's some changes happening. There's messages coming through. There's truths being told. But it looks like there's a new foundation that's being built that's like a stable, solid foundation financially, but also it's, based on love. So this does look like the stable foundation for like a long-lasting, a dynasty, So this is resonating with the storyline of the dynasty thread, if that's something that you can relate to. Okay, so got 2 out of 2 major arcana so far. Okay. Okay, just a couple more cards, but yeah, we just passed through the 12-12 portal. There's some interesting readings with regard to that, but there's kind of like a big shift happening with relationships, how we show up in them. There's a lot of healing that's been done around that, and it's inspiring a big shift, and relationships that were maybe like based on not the healthiest foundation are kind of going away, and then we're building a new foundation. So we've got the Hermit on the bottom of the deck, so this can signify a Virgo, but it's also someone who's kind of pulled back and is focusing on, you know, the spiritual aspect of things and what lessons they can take away from that. Okay, so you've got the Magician card. This is a card of manifestation, someone who can turn lead into gold. We have the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the Five of Wands. So how I'm taking this is there's someone who's kind of, and this is falling right under this Dynasty card. So someone has manifested some sort of stable foundation here out of nothing. And this is turning things on its head. Like it's causing a big shift in reality. So this could be what this message is regarding, that things are changing and it's becoming known. And then we have the Five of Wands. So there's obviously some resistance to this change, which, you know, that's normal to encounter resistance when things change. But this change is kind of bubbling up. And this came up in a reading a couple days ago. I'll try to link it. I gotta find it. But this change is bubbling up into the three-dimensional world, and that's causing resistance because, you know, some people like things to stay the same, you know. And then underneath this, we have the Three of Wands. So this is a card of waiting for your ships to come in. So, you know, this is whoever is sparking this change that they've manifested. They've been working on it for a while. So this isn't just like a fly-by-night sort of situation. And then underneath the Wheel of Fortune in this message card, we have strength. So, you know, obviously there's resistance to this change. And so it's going to require strength, you know, to move through this change. And you got to kind of stick to your guns and really be in your power and strong. And then underneath this resistance, we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is interesting because this Queen of Pentacles energy has really been orbiting around the storyline of the Divine Feminine. So that's a thread, which I'll link here. But this is a loving, nurturing queen who's, you know, got a solid foundation. She's financially abundant. She can be a businesswoman, someone you definitely want to have on your side. So it looks like there might be some resistance with respect to this queen. So I'm going to pull some more cards from the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot and see if we can get some guidance about how we might navigate these energies. But yeah, it definitely looks like, you know, there's been some big changes that have been contemplated for quite a while. For some time. And they're actually starting to bubble up into, you know, three-dimensional reality right now. And yeah, so there's been... there was a reading that I did a couple days ago that was talking about that, where, you know, when things bubble up from the realm of ideas to the realm of reality, there's often, you know, you meet some resistance. And there is a video called Runway Touchdown that talks about the sort of landing, the point when you hit the ground and there's like, you know, it's a little harsh, you know, right in that moment. So as far as the guidance, we have the Hermit. So this person who's manifesting this stable foundation, this dynasty, the advice for this person is the Hermit card. So this can be a Virgo energy, but the advice is to just kind of, you know, maybe don't really engage the conflict, but just sort of go within and search, you know, for the spiritual lessons in the situation. But, you know, maybe don't fight against the resistance, you know, just kind of focus on yourself and like let the conflict pass, because that's probably the best use of your energy. Then, with regard to having to be strong and this big change that's coming through, the Wheel of Fortune, and a message regarding this change, what's interesting is that we have the Two of Cups. So this is a deep love connection. So this could be part, you know, what the message is regarding. There's another thread on the channel called Epic Love Saga, which I will link, and it's about this deep love connection that's been oppressed for some time, and there was some wrong that was needing to be righted in order to bring this love into fruition. And there was a lot of conflict around this, and so that could be, you know, what the difficulty was. So it's interesting because then we have here, we have you know, this Queen of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and then there's this resistance, this conflict, and then we have a lot of anxiety here. So it could be that there's a conflict because there's two queens here, and then there's this resistance. So there might be some anxiety over maybe having to choose between these two parties. That could be the source of the resistance. So really interesting. I'm going to pull a card from the Sacred Traveler Oracle. Obviously, there's a big changing of the guard that's happening here with respect to human relationships. And there's been a lot of work and healing that's been done, and there's some big climaxes coming through right now. And or that's kind of what's been coming through in the cards. So you know, in general, I think the advice is to just kind of like focus on your own journey and on your own karma, and just like working on your own lessons, and like letting what's going to be. And so on the bottom of this deck we have Begin Now, Take Your First Step. So whatever this is that's been being contemplated for some time, it looks like the advice is that, you know, now's the time to make this decision. Things are changing now, you know, and it's favoring this love. And then we have Reaching Your Destination. Your light is shining brightly. So there's like a little magic castle there. And yeah, obviously this outcome, whatever it is, has been being contemplated for some time. And there, it looks like there's a moment of change that's happening now. And what's coming through is, you know, this castle is kind of like, you know, the dynasty. It's in this little bubble here. So looks like there's some new frameworks that are coming online that are based on love and abundance. And it's interesting because that's also been a thread, you know, healing lack and turning it into love. There's a video about that. There's another video called Healing Leads to Love and Abundance, and I'll link those too. But we'll see how this turns out. There's a lot evolving this week, and we'll see how this goes tomorrow. Okay, check in with you later.